For the Winds Productions presents a Simple Man's Brand production in conjunction with J. Hebert Studios. And now, a simple take with Noah Foster.
WWE Fastlane. Here we are, removed and discussing it on the eve of Friday the 13th, in the month of superstition. Yet WWE Fastlane offered confrontation, conclusion, some cool moments, and a bitch arriving on the scene. This and so much more we shall discuss as we pull away from Indianapolis, but look back one last time at what has transpired since the last premium PLE, courtesy of WWE. Welcome, everybody, once again to another Simple Take in conjunction with the Cast Lady Studios and Superman's brand as part of the Jet Regenerate multiverse of media, as we bring you our afterthoughts of WWE Fastlane. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Simple Man's brand. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man of the Simple Brand and the voice of the Jam Man for great professional wrestling. Damn it! And my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, is the renegade of wrestling, CEO of Cast Lady Steels, my color analyst in all things wrestling, as we bring you these simple takes in cooperation and conversation. JJ Williams. JJ, how you doing? We are now 6 days removed from the last PLE. It definitely gave us a little more than we thought it was actually going to do, but as we are also on the precipice of the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown, and just a heads up, folks, please, if you can, do not put any spoilers in the chat, as we like to be spoiler-free here on the multiverse of media. But if you want to dictate the conversation, donate to Dictate at Cast Lady Studios. Super Chat, it is as simple as that. But JJ, how you feeling about WWE Fastlane now that we've been removed from the Fastlane, and how you feeling overall?
You know, I thought it was a good show overall. My biggest takeaway from it is that they proved that less can be more. 5 matches, maybe an hour and a half of actual in-ring action in a 3-hour PLE, which on that end seems a little bit much. That means there was an hour and a half of filler, but everything flowed so well. Everything moved so good. Like there wasn't really a lull, despite the fact that there was only an hour and a half roughly of action.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE proving that you don't have to go balls to the wall, high octane, pun intended, Fastlane, and just go match for match for match for match, because that can lead to burnout.
Yeah. Keep it in cruise control, and you'll reach a further distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Know when to ride the tail so you can get that draft wind from the racer in front of you.
Yeah.
That way you can zoom around, take the lead when you need to. I thought it was a brilliant presentation, start to finish.
All right, fair enough. And a nice opening statement before we dive into our simple take and give, of course, our final takeaway. Shout out to the chat, Josh Mansfield, Daniel Linux, good to see you. And again, as the chat is encouraging those that watch this live on demand, again, if you're live, especially, no SmackDown spoilers, or you'll be cast by Danhausen. Oh wait, that's AEW. Or you will be taken out by Jay. Who's more dangerous, Jason or Danhausen at this point? Just saying. I hope I see that ad tonight, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, JJ. So yeah, we are talking about the last PLE that has transpired for WWE, and that was Fastlane. It was a simple show with 5 matches. We had some moments, and we also had an advertisement that enraged the Renegade, and I'm sure he might talk about that if he wants to as part of the filler. Again, for me, when it comes to WWE, it does a lot of times feel underwhelming on a weekly standpoint. But lately, these PLEs have matched par to be standard entertainment that is adequate and engaging enough within proper time management. I just still think there's a whole lot of over advertising and too much filler with the showcases building into the next match. It almost feels like now they don't even like cut to like the video package for the match. Now they do the video package before they actually get back to the show. I don't know necessarily that's a smarter strategy because, again, I do wonder, hey, do people get up during days where it's like, buy this from shopw.com? This is coming up this week. This show is brought to you by blah, 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 blah. Talk about this advertiser, Cricket, blah, blah, blah.
I understand your point of view on that, and to a certain extent I can agree with it.
Yeah.
But you've also got to think about the counterpoint here. Doing that gives people a chance to breathe in between the matches.
True.
You know, and that's one of my biggest complaints about the competition's pay-per-views is that it's match is over, match is over, match is over, backstage interview, match is over, and just like there's no room to breathe.
That's
there's no room to get up and go to the bathroom. There's no room to get up and grab yourself a plate, some pizza or something to snack on during the pay-per-view. There's no room to conversate with your friends or your family about what you just saw because everything is so high octane, balls to the wall. It's just like, dude, can I get like a minute to breathe?
That's fair.
Especially when they give you, 20 false finishes before actually giving you the finish of the match. Like the air has been sucked out of the room, out of the building. Give a minute to let it breathe before you go to the next thing.
Or kick into another gear, as we've seen with some matches this year, where you think it takes the air out. It actually makes people even more short breath. But to also that point, like you said, the flying match, it's like, oh my God, this is freaking incredible. And then the flying match, okay, this is happening. So, and again, this is across the board, whether it's New Japan, AEW, Impact, or Ring of Honor. You're right, because that Triple H even said at the press conference, no one does what WWE does like they do. Hate it, love it, belittle it, content with it. They are their own form of presentation in this self-proclaimed world. Christened by them, let's just call it what it is. They christened the term sports entertainment.
And they're the industry leaders for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason that it was WCW that went out of business, ECW that went out of business, AWA that went out of business. The National Wrestling Alliance that went down for a while and then had its resurgence.
Yeah.
There's a reason that all these other companies were the ones that went down like the Titanic, and the WWE is still afloat, sailing along.
Yeah. But I will say
again,
this,
to your point, like it or hate it, they're the industry leaders for a reason. Every company has tried to copy their blueprint and then tweak it to what best suits their demographic.
Well, again, that key demographic that we always talk about is the 18 to 39, and that doesn't need a massive number. That just needs the actual following, because at the end of the day, you look at advertisers and you look at engagement. Speaking of engagement, I'm sure people are like, are you supposed to talk about Fastlane? Why are you talking about business product presentations?
Well, because there's only 5 matches.
Yeah, come on. Y'all want more? Y'all want a taste? Y'all want more of a taste of this? Then super chat. It's as simple as that. But all right.
Even if we give each match 20 minutes, that's an hour and 40 minutes.
Right?
Of a 2-hour presentation. We're not even 10 minutes in yet.
Exactly.
Calm down.
Tranquilo, folks. Okay. Again,
trust me, there'll be enough time for getting riled up on open mic night tomorrow, and I'll just leave that there.
But stay tuned, folks, because what I might do, I might be in black and white and be silently charading as a commentator watching Rev Pro, and that way JJ and Jeff and James can clip that bleep and add freaking vaudevillain music, because I might have a case of the wrestling turrets based on how I feel and how my voice is after I come home tomorrow from AEW Collision.
We'll turn you into the next timeless Tony Storm vignette.
Damn it.
Put the little ragtime piano behind you as you're there watching.
And then the freaking like, and then the silent cue card with the text of what you think I'm saying. They'll be like, Noah said this. Like, so I'm sure y'all gonna have very creative fun. We're gonna have a lot of entertainment tomorrow.
Card pops up, Rainmaker.
Only if I do this, because that makes sense. Even people know that. Oh, tomorrow's gonna be fun. I can already tell.
But we digress.
Yes, as always. And again, as JJ alluded to, stay tuned tomorrow night. That are the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans hosted by the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams. Open mic night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across the Deputy of Multiverse Mia. You are in for quite an interesting show. But before we get there, tonight's presentation is all about WWE Fastlane. So I guess without further ado, I just love doing this in general. This is a fun conversation. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We'll go ahead and talk about the show, main show, and then we'll save the key moment before the match of relative interest that might relate to it. Then again, we've also seen where a person's been lately, and she still might not be done traveling. But let's go ahead and talk about this match to kick things off, and Judgment Day came. But which side was found innocent? Which side was found guilty? As the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships were on the line between the unique first time ever tag team duo of Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso in the opening match in a tag contest. I put that in perspective, folks. Taking on Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, and JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio, because all hell broke loose, because Judgment Day has to land the numbers game. It's the only way they succeed. But as we saw, that kind of was a bit of foreshadowing for what you think might happen or might not happen. Damn it. Somehow, some way, the makeshift duo of two former WWE Tag Team Champions, you think about the Rhodes brothers, Dustin and Cody, and of course the Usos, the longest reigning undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions of the modern era. They got it done with, I think, it's being called the one done Cody cut the mouthful. I don't know. WWE name convention seems stupid on moves. There, I said it. But as we saw, JJ, a pinnacle moment though. JD McDonough. Again, you called him the guy trying to prove a case why he should be part of the Judgment Day. Of course, the student of one Finn Balor. That key moment, try to use the briefcase for advantage. And this was after, by the way, freaking championships were already used, and Rhea Ripley was apoplectic that the Judgment Day didn't win yet. What the bleep. That shot to the knee took Damian Priest out of the equation. And next thing you know, Finn Balor was isolated and terminated. He had a super kick, a single super kick, folks. Next thing you know, they set him up for the Cody Cutter into a modified 1D. So, one Cody, I don't know what you call it, but call it Succession, because believe it or not, I can't believe this freaking happened. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. They reset the tag team division again at the top. And this time feels like it was not just for a moment. I think they actually might use these two because we know what Cody Rhodes came back to WWE to do. He's still talking about during the press conference. Again, he wants to complete that goal. But there's always many different ways a story can change up before the ending. And this is just another chapter with a brand new page. Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. Not on my 2023 WWE bingo card, if I'm being perfectly honest. JJ, your thoughts?
So, to your point, here's main event Jey Uso.
Yeah.
He got drafted to Raw.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, not drafted. Not really a botch, but got brought back to Raw by Cody Rhodes so that he could escape the shadow of the bloodline and one Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And his first PLE on the brand is the curtain jerker match, not the main event.
Yeah.
For the tag team titles, not a solo title.
Yeah.
This is where the fans make a lot of sense in where is the logic in this.
And this is
WWE plus logic, I know. LOL.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
But still, you sit here and you got to scratch your head like, why? I expected miscommunication, them to take the L, Judgment Day retain,
Same.
set up possibly a match between the two of them at Crown Jewel. You know? Seemed like it was all easy for me. But WWE went and made them tag champions. And it's like, okay, now what? Because now you've got one of these superstar combination pairings instead of a legitimate tag team.
Like Shawn Michaels and John Cena, but that was literally for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And they've done this before. You know, you think about Dude Love and Steve Austin. You think about Austin and Undertaker. You know, they've done this stuff before, but it just doesn't make sense to do it long term. What's the end game here? Because you almost now need another superstar pairing to dethrone the superstar pairing.
Good luck matching up Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes into a superstar pairing that could actually dethrone them if they go the distance.
Right?
And I fear again, that's what WWE just wants to do. They want to showcase these two men together, but I think it hurts their star quality because they are two top tier single man eventers. Now
Yeah.
they're tag team champions.
Yeah. It's like, are you going to sit here and buy Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne dethroning them? No.
No,
Pretty Deadly? No.
no,
Viking Raiders? Alpha
no,
Academy?
no.
You're not going to buy any of their established tag teams,
I'm not even going to buy the New Day into this.
right? So it's mind boggling. I am curious to see where it's going to go from here, though.
Same.
You know, I think Triple H has a grand plan. Triple H is fond of long term storytelling. Triple H has been in one of these teams before when he and Austin teamed up as the 2-man power trip.
You literally talked about Austin there. I was waiting for you
So-
to mention that duo.
Because it escaped my mind in the moment, but
That's fair.
you know, bringing up Triple H triggered it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think he's got a grand plan here. It's just a matter of when will the trigger get pulled to execute. And I'm thinking it might happen around Survivor Series.
Which, at this point, we still don't know what the blip Survivor Series is going to be.
I was just going to say it's rumored, take it for what it is, you know, it's rumored our main event will once again be War Games. We're still waiting for an official announcement. I don't believe anything until it comes out of Stamford, Connecticut. But that's the heavy rumors that we're going to get War Games. And since it'll have been about a year since a certain gentleman villain returned to the company, we can actually hear him scream it out on the microphone.
That's the only way I'll buy into it.
So, but I digress. It was a good match.
Oh,
It was
no,
a hell of an opening contest. It was a great way to get the crowd fired up.
Oh, yeah.
But I still scratch my head at the decision to allow Cody and Jay to pick up the titles. Unless they're going to pivot here shortly and put the straps back on Judgment Day, but have it be the contingent of Balor and McDonough. That way, Priest is free of the tag division to do his Senior Money in the Bank thing. That would make sense. Question is, when do they pull that trigger?
And will they do that? Because at the end of the day, you literally have pigeonholed two of your top single stars, one that's been established in the main event, one that just literally created themselves in the main event, and you just basically lock and key them into the tag team division that you truly don't have a strong existing background of capable dethroning competitors with across all three brands, for being perfectly honest.
I know.
It's just baffling to me. I'm just like, why? But yeah, I am curious. The first thing I would love to see is they actually get rid of both those straps and just unify. Because again, at this point, you don't have a deep enough tag team division on either brand. Damn it! You need new single set titles. Give a freaking Fio Rocha makeover. Make them freaking black and bronze again. I don't care. God, it's excessive and stupid right
The
now with
the
what's happening.
rosters may not be deep enough, but once again, Noah, NXT is booking their tag division better.
I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Your NXT is better than both the other rosters combined when it comes to booking women's wrestling, and they're starting to improve on tag team wrestling. Even if I don't know half of the tag teams, and I still say screw the
That's
GTA
fair.
rejects.
That's fair. I mean, just because you don't know the teams, that's one thing. But
Yes,
they have established teams.
yes, that I do acknowledge because we called your NXT and they showed the graphic, so I do acknowledge that. All right. Well, speaking
And
of
we've got the bada bing bada boom battle royal coming up this week to see who's gonna get the shot at the family.
the Halloween Havoc, it'd be another trick, it'd be a treat, but it might turn into a nightmare for the challengers. I'm just saying. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, what's the matter? What the hell, man? All right, seriously
Man,
though.
if little Guido is not the referee for that, they done messed up. They need to bring out somebody from the full-blooded Italians to be timekeeper, ringside enforcer, referee. Like, come on, the family's got to have people that they can call upon.
This freaking cheap version of the mafia is going to drive me up a wall just with you saying that and the possibility of that happening at Halloween Havoc. My God. All right. Well, again, that's still your NXT to come this coming Tuesday. Like I said, Josh, it's better than what it used to be. Still not my NXT, but still a damn better NXT. And Tuesday night was very fun, to say the least. But also was Sunday, and also happened Sunday, talking about teams. We, of course, had another team-based match with this, as it was the Latino World Order, and it was Rey Mysterio and the United States Championship, brought to you by Pizza Hut. His partner Santos Escobar and Okay, handicap. They were taking on the Almighty Street Profits, as we're calling them. We're talking about Montez Ford, Angela Dawkins, and the Almighty Bobby Lashley. Pretty much, it was isolate and dominate for 2/3 of this. JJ, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, and that's the way to do it. If you're a heel tag team, you isolate, you dominate. And the Almighty Street Profits did that well until the LWO got some assistance from a returning cool competitor.
Carlito. I swear he got lost in traffic or he had bad airfare because, boy, did he show up late and those two were getting the crap beat out of them.
I think that was the point. I think they wanted him to come in late. I think they were going for a Bash at the Beach style entrance
Yeah, I could see that.
where it was Hall and Nash taking on the WCW contingent. I know it was Steen, Luger, and I forget who their third man was.
Uh,
Savage,
Savage?
maybe?
I'm blanking though, but
Yeah, I
Sting and
forget
Luger
on
to
who
some
the
extent
third one is, and I'm sure Jeff will kill me for that
is. I
because
just
that was the
yeah.
genesis of the NWO.
I
But
mean,
I
you
know it was
said
Steen,
Sting and Luger.
Luger and
Yeah,
question mark
but I mean Sting and
versus
Luger.
Hall and Nash.
What name do you put up next to Sting and Luger and the freaking WCW marquee, the Randy Savage?
Yeah, and then Hogan came out. I think it was Savage because I think Hogan dropped the leg on Savage.
That would be
I
fitting,
think
actually.
everybody thought that Hogan was coming out to help the baby faces because of the Mega Powers angle. And then he turned on them and he
And
dropped the
yep.
leg drop on Savage.
Yeah, and then of course it was the moment heard around the world that changed the face of professional wrestling as we knew it. Well, anyway,
But
continue talking about this
but
six-man
yeah,
though.
I think that's what they were going for with the late
Yeah,
arrival of Carlito.
Carlito.
And it worked because him coming out had an amazing pop. It was the worst part about it was Carlito's music.
Oh God.
And I mean, I can deal with him coming back and having a new song. It's a new era. I get it.
Yeah,
But
too
at
long.
the very least, they should have kept the I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
They didn't even have that.
Because immediately people would have known that and popped like crazy for it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't there, and this random CFO digital AI music dropped, and people are like, "What the hell is this?"
That's
And
an
then
insult to Steve
Carlito
Foss.
comes running out, and it's
That's
like,
different.
"Oh shit, it's Carlito!"
Yeah, all you know is Carlito's name on the Titantron. By the way, respect Foss. They made way better music. They were the black and gold NXT. That's your freaking new generation guy, Death Rebel idiot.
Got it.
Blah. But besides the presentation execution, Carlito looked like he didn't lose a single step. And he got the win for the team.
I mean, Carlito hasn't been out of action. He's just been wrestling on the independents and for the Puerto Rican WWC, I think is what it's called, down there in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's the World Wrestling Council, WWC.
Oh, okay. I have to look that up.
But he's still been active and he's great shape, probably the best shape of his career. And like you said, he hasn't lost a step. He can still get out there. He can still do everything. I'm looking forward to seeing him on SmackDown tonight because I'm sure he'll be a part of the broadcast.
I would think so.
If he came out and helped the LWO, LWO's on SmackDown. So I would assume he'd be part of that show tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Well, might as well be. He signed a contract, but it does go back to what we talked about, though. We fought a lot before the angle on last week's Friday Night SmackDown that the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley needed the win. Not only would it add so much more marketing potential and investment, pun intended, to this trio, but then they had the angle on Friday night last week, and you're kind of like, okay, it's gotta be Carlito, so the other one has to win because you gotta give him the moment. So at the end of the day,
if it had been Cruz del Toro or Joaquin Wilde, then the Almighty Street Profits would have won.
Oh, bar none.
But once they had that upper hand going into the PLE, they had to take the L. It's almost as unwritten of a rule as he who sets it up goes through it. Whoever has the advantage going into the big show loses at the big show.
9 out of 10, that's exactly what happens. You're 100% on point.
So, while it sucked that the Almighty Street Profits had to take the L with the momentum they were starting to gain,
damn it,
it made sense because now you've got Carlito back. And is Carlito going to be a full-fledged member of the LWO? Was it a one-time deal? Is he going to be kind of like JD McDonough and like LWO affiliated, but not really in the crew? We're going to have to see what happens tonight. Is Carlito going to get into Santos' ear to lead him to his heel turn eventually on Rey Mysterio?
That's what we're waiting for at this point. We're waiting for Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio, the battle of Lucha Libre royalty, as he calls himself the Emperor. And also, like you said, and also let's also put this perspective. Santos Escobar got most heavily worked over this match. He was carrying it for his team until Rey Mysterio was tagged in, and they isolated Rey. And eventually got back up on the apron. He was looking for the hot tag, got to a degree. And again, looking for a tag, Carlito came into play. There's no doubt if Carlito didn't show up, the LWO would have lost. And it's one of those things where, again, Santos Escobar respects Rey, but how far does respect take you in this industry if you're the guy that is empty-handed or empty-shouldered? Again, people still figure once for that audible, Santos Escobar should be right now the United States champion, and I back up that merit.
Same. So Rey Mysterio didn't need the championship.
No.
Santos needs the push.
Here's what happened since Rey Mysterio won the title. WWE has gotten brand endorsements by Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Pizza Hut. In fact, they literally fed the commentary Pizza Hut, thanks Xavier Woods, after the match. And boy, did you go on a tirade.
Yes, I did.
I don't blame you. But we're not going to do that here because we're not going to do that to the people because we're not going to do that type of brand endorsement nonsense That's all that was. That was brand endorsement nonsense. And if this is what the United States title particularly is becoming, boy, how far this title has gone downhill. Further than A-Town downhill.
Hey, you leave A-Town down alone. And Mansfield, you leave the D'Angelo family and Chase you alone.
What do
I
you say?
see your comment.
Uh-oh.
Chase U is an institution of higher learning, damn it.
Hey,
I am an
I'm
alumni of Chase University.
I am not going down this road.
I
But that
appreciate that. But Andre Chase proved the fact that he has a diploma in higher education this past Tuesday on NXT when JC Jane and Thea Hale came into the room and he took his phone, threw it against the wall, and stated, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, nothing good comes from social media.
accurate, but okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Damn it,
Okay.
sign me back up for another class from Andre Chase. Chase, you represent.
Well, from Chase U to women's wrestling representation, let's go ahead and talk about this women's triple threat where you thought your worst nightmare would come true. But
And I'm glad
apparently,
it didn't.
yeah, it did not. And immediately, Asuka and Io Sky were aware of the threat that the Queen proposed. And of course, the WWE Women's Championship was on the line in a triple threat match. And Io Sky said she wanted to do it on her own. And to a degree, this almost was Asuka versus Io Sky. I mean, right out of the gate, Asuka blinded the Queen. So apparently no love lost there with her greatest rival that she still has yet to beat, by the way, in one-on-one action. I'm just saying. And for most of this match, you thought it was Joshi Pro. Asuka and Io Sky, they're trying to outspeed and outstrike each other. I was really enjoying it. Then Charlotte came into play and she was the equalizer. Whether it was big boot or that ridiculous moves off the top where you think she's going to break her knees or everything else in between. At one point, she applied the figure four, but that was broke up by Asuka with that ridiculous running flash knee strike. Io Sky tried to get to the top and she was denied by Asuka. Tower of Doom spot. All three of these women, again, politicking, booking aside when it comes to Ashley. Again, it's WWE, folks. It's not the competitors. It's not the human beings' fault. It's just the character development. At the end of the day, Charlotte Flair came this close, looking for the figure eight at the point that Damage Control wanted to play Damage Control. Here came Bayley to Io Sky's aid to save her 1 point from a submission and try to distract the Queen, almost inadvertently costing her in a way. As Io Sky says, she's my mentor. But again, I still wonder about that whole teacher-student dynamic here when the fact that Io Sky is the champion. But that being said, Bayley did pay dividends because at one point, Io Sky capitalized with that moonsault and pinned the Queen. Of all the circumstances I thought I would see come out of this match, Charlotte Flair being pinned was not one of them. But I could not be happier because this tells me that maybe, they are challenging the idea that Charlotte Flair does not always need to be involved with the championship. She got pinned. She has to go to the back of the line. It's the bottom of the barrel for her. Incredible showcasing, but you failed, and Io Sky is still the champion. But Asuka did not get pinned. Charlotte Flair did.
That surprises me more than anything. And to Josh's point, about if anything gives away the fact that Vince is out of creative, it's the three words EO pinned Charlotte. I wouldn't be so sure about that statement, Mansfield. You got to remember how much of a Flair guy Triple H is too.
Yeah.
Triple H idolized Flair. That's why Flair was the past in Evolution. That's why Triple H tried to try to help Flair find his lost Flair.
Quite true.
Triple H is a huge Flair guy, and Charlotte is one of his kids from Noah's NXT.
Damn it!
So that doesn't mean anything. Sorry to break your heart on that one, but it doesn't mean that Vince is out of control. The only thing that I would believe, and trust me, it would take a lot of work to convince me of this.
Right.
Ashley said she wanted to take the pin.
Whoa.
That's the only thing that you could truly convince me of. And again, it would take some heavy convincing.
Yeah, straight
But
from
as
the
much as
horse's mouth.
Vince and Hunter are Ric Flair guys, and as much as Charlotte is a kid of Triple H's from the Black and Gold NXT, the only thing I would believe is if we found out that Ashley said she wanted to lose.
Also, to go with
Because of the
that,
very reasons she knows we're tired of her in the title picture.
I mean, even Ashley has to be aware how mentally exhausting it is to always hear, "You're always the champion. You're always." You do wonder maybe the competitor gets tired of that. Again, she's 16 times. She doesn't need 20 times before WrestleMania 40. I'm just fracking saying. I know that's exaggeration, but honestly, this is WWE. Anything could happen, especially when it comes to Charlotte Flair at the forefront. Just saying. And we even talked about. I'm still on point of saying it. The best women's match in WWE this year is Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 39. There, I said it. And Rhea Ripley got that win 3 years later. But there was, you talked about yourself. The reason that Rhea possibly got that win and got that moment is because Charlotte Flair was taking some time off for something else. So, again, was this out of good merit to put somebody forward, or was this maybe a choice of her own that she has something else, or maybe she actually wants to take it easy? We don't know. But the extreme rarity of saying Charlotte Flair pinned, those three words do not go together in WWE very often in the span of even a year.
Nope.
Especially with our Money in a Bank briefcase in play. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
And shout out to the man whose name's not on the marquee because he never sent me that logo. I gotta work with him on that. Appreciate. Yeah, hope you're having fun and hashtag no good from social media.
With the
Damn.
Chase U hand sign, baby.
Damn it. I appreciate you,
Jeff
Jeff.
knows what's up.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna argue with the man. All right, I could try all day, but I know I would lose. Key Mike here saying that he again. We do not have disdain for the competitor Charlotte Flair. I want to put that out there right now for anybody that's listening for the first time ever. We have disagreements with the overly typically seen booking of Charlotte Flair being the champion. It doesn't need to happen more than her father in less than half the span of Charlotte Flair's career versus her old man. I'm just saying. You guys realize that Charlotte Flair has literally been in WWE less than 15 years at this point, right? I'm just saying. Anyway. But yeah, a tremendous match, and I couldn't be happier for Io Sky still holding a championship in WWE, not being transitional, not being a stepping stone. But again, like I said about your NXT, they need to do more than the same 2 or 3 typical effing names with the women's division across Raw and SmackDown to build caliber challengers for their champions and build the championships merit. So it's more than just an accessory on your local Mattel playset coming to a Walmart near you this holiday season. But I digress. And hey, JJ, maybe you'll get an action figure of that bitch because you talked about Charlotte Flair being pinned. Maybe this is the agenda that could be ahead, whether you like it or not. Because that bitch made a scene at Fastlane where you see it on screen with Triple H. She arrived, but not more. It's been known since. She's now arrived at WPLE. She now arrived at your NXT. She could arrive maybe tonight on SmackDown. Will she be part of the Red Brand? Will she make her in-ring debut before the end of the year? I'm just saying. Breathe. Someone get this man a defibrillator. Anyway, clear. Anyway, JJ, go ahead and talk about the impact of Jade Cargill's appearance at Fastlane. And again, what could it be foreshadowing? And could they actually, and again, I know it's weird, but this is WWE. Would they actually book the bitch versus the queen out the gate
No.
before anything else as her first biggest match of the grandest stage.
No.
Why did Charlotte Flair get pinned is the biggest question. And again, does Jade Cargill, is there any implications of her working with her in the early going or confronting her? Like you said, you've been waiting for the potential of it being teased, possibly at the Royal Rumble. We don't know what's next for Jade. And for the first time in a long damn time, we don't know what's next for Charlotte.
I definitely don't think they're going to give her Charlotte. As much as I hate it, Charlotte is the final boss. You defeat everybody else, and then you get to Charlotte Flair. They're not going to do it yet. But my biggest complaint with how they have handled Jade so far is that we see her arrive, we see her walk into the venue, and we never see her again. I'm not saying she has to cut a promo. I'm not saying she has to be a run-in. I'm not even saying that she has to be sitting in the crowd, although that would be an easy way to go.
Right.
Have her seated in the crowd, visible on camera during a women's match. After having seen her arrive, she's scouting talent. She's scouting her for her future opposition. Fastlane. They had Triple H greet her as she arrived. They had her and Triple H walk off. Never saw again. After the match that we're going to talk about next, they should have cut back and seen Triple H and her in a green room, a backstage office, something, just chit-chatting. Again, we don't need to hear any audio.
No.
But just the visual of the two of them talking, laughing, her getting up to leave, him getting up, another handshake. Something to further the fact that she's here. Same thing with Shawn Michaels on NXT.
Yep.
She arrived. She was greeted out in the parking lot. Her and Shawn walked in. Never saw her again.
Nope.
NXT had 2 women's matches.
Yes.
Could have had her ringside for the breakout tournament match. Since Asuka and Roxanne was earlier in the evening.
Yes. And Asuka, by the way, folks, still undefeated in NXT. Just
damn it.
But you digress.
But that's my biggest complaint so far is we see her arrive at these events. We see somebody greet her. And we never see her again.
Yep.
And I feel like while it maybe adds an aura of mystique, I would rather see some kind of interaction with these WWE higher ups.
Agree.
To get more water cooler talk going. If she arrives on Raw, see her do that thing with Adam Pearce. She arrives on SmackDown, maybe just for the sheer shock factor of it, see her get greeted by Paul Heyman. She's not connected to the bloodline, so she wouldn't fit in there.
No.
But Paul Heyman is always thinking about his next chess move.
He's 3 steps ahead, and you don't, and you just don't know it. Like I said, I'm just waiting for him to be in the boat with Roman Reigns and pull the gun out of his jacket and put the freaking weapon against his head and pull the trigger.
If she were to debut at the Rumble, if the Roman Empire were to fall by Mania, if Paul Lee goes in the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia like everybody expects him to, once the Roman Empire has fallen, could she be the first Paul Heyman girl? You know what I mean? Like, that's the speculation that could happen if we saw him approach her.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, again, you talk about the very first Paul Heyman girl, some would argue it was Medusa.
Yes. I always forget that she was part of the Dangerous Alliance because the footage I've seen was always after she had already left to go be Alundra Blaze.
Yeah.
So, she wasn't in the Dangerous Alliance for long. So I always forget that she was affiliated.
That's fair.
And then, yeah, you can talk about the Queen of Extreme, Francine. You can talk about Beulah McGillicuddy, Kimona Wanalea, Dawn Marie, Miss Congeniality, Tammy Lynn Sitch, Electra. I think I've named most of them. Jasmine St. Clair, who came through the original ECW, but he was never like standing next to them.
Right.
They weren't his charges, they just worked for him.
Right. Well, again, WWE, if there's one thing WWE loves to try and do is be the first ones to market. We've done this first or create a first time moment. And Paul came in managing full time to a degree an on air female talent to the precipice of being truly that thing in WWE. Not the next big thing, but truly that thing, that bitch, quote unquote, kind of writes itself.
And getting off of Jade for a second, could you
Yeah.
imagine if Paul was able to orchestrate the return of bringing some Monet back to the banks
Oh my gosh.
and uniting the four horsewomen on the roster with him in the role of JJ Dillon?
There would be no stopping that summit of women's wrestling power. Ouch, Josh. Ouch. I don't know necessarily if I would go that far because at the end of the day, the fans turned on her and she didn't use it to her advantage. She just became bitter against them and
She
never
may not
recovered.
have been allowed to use it to her advantage, to be
That's
fair.
another thing. How many times do I say it? What truly dictates failure and success in this industry? Booking, 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 booking. Doesn't
Here,
matter where you are.
let's do it Mario style. Booking, booking, booking. Booking, booking,
Booking,
booking.
booking, booking, book. The underground, the freaking underground. I was literally watching Gab Smolder's Super Mario 64 stream. I can't imagine why would someone put themselves through the punishment of getting all of 120 stars when you do. All right, we're not here to talk
That's
about
a rant
video
for
games.
another time, Noah.
Me ranting about video games? How dare you? Don't get me started on the Sonic Frontiers King Go Trot. Nope. No. I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna talk about it. I am gonna let this man talk to you though when it came to the megastar and the all-time GOAT, some would say, tagging together against the bloodline and the biggest hypocrite in WWE, if you know what I mean. Yeah, as John Cena teamed up alongside, say it with me now, if you will, L.A.
L.A.
Knight.
Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking on the Bloodlines, Enforcer, Problem Solver, Street Champ, Solo Sikoa, and the biggest hypocrite in WWE, desperate to prove that he still is part of the ones, and you should acknowledge him, but also acknowledge me, Jimmy Uso. And I'm not going to say anything else. JJ, this was random, but interesting. What did you say?
I don't know how random it was. I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from to an extent because all roads looked like it was leading to Cena and Styles versus the Bloodline.
Right, and then
But
Solo
AJ
Sikoa
doesn't
squashed him.
need that push. AJ doesn't need that rub.
That's true. Especially when he's at the tail end of his career. His words verbatim. Continue.
LA Knight has been held down so much.
Yeah.
He needed this rub, and getting a victory alongside the GOAT of this generation. I refuse to call him the greatest of all time,
Agree.
but the GOAT for this generation within the WWE.
And his name is. Never mind. Continue.
That was just what LA Knight needed.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see, again, what's going to happen tonight. The trajectory of everything coming out of this, because Cena is SmackDown, LA Knight is SmackDown, and Roman Reigns returns tonight. If that does not spell combustible, I don't know what is.
Ah, not to mention, it was Jimmy Uso that failed, ate blunt force trauma, got an attitude adjustment, and Jimmy Uso particularly lost to LA
Mhm.
Knight and John Cena. And I
And
know some.
we've got to wonder what Roman Reigns is going to have to say about that because, to Keen Mike's point, he was never invited back by the tribal chief.
Yep,
He's tried to force his way back in
yep,
since Roman's been gone. He was in the match representing the bloodline and he took the loss. He's the one that got pinned.
yep. You can tell that Solo Sikoa didn't want to work with him either. But Solo Sikoa was doing what he believed was deemed worthy or best in the eyes of his tribal chief. And again, we got to talk about the main character in this entire thing, not Pat McAfee at commentary, but Paul Heyman. So jesters, and you know he was on that phone quite a bit. I'm just saying.
Call Roman Reigns.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that he had him not only on speed dial, but probably was literally FaceTiming him, his rear camera, so Roman watched the whole thing. And clearly, we saw a bit of an aftermath with that on your NXT when Solo Sikoa invaded him after John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
by
I
the
gotta
way,
say, that was awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of pretty cool. And of course, LA Knight was also on NXT, but hey, no Paul Heyman involvement, no Solo Sikoa, no bloodline, and not a hi nor tail nor word from one Jimmy Uso since the outcome of this. Let's just call it what it is. It was a John Cena beatdown clinic, and LA Knight, yeah, got the hat tag and got the win. It was as simple as that.
But on my NXT, we did see Paul Heyman potentially recruiting a future Bloodline member. And Josh, if you're going to post her name, don't mix them up.
Botch!
Her gimmick name is Ava Rain. Her real name is Simone Johnson.
Yes.
Use one or the other. Don't hybrid them.
I just noticed the attitude on her face, and it was like, get out of here with that bleep. Because, again, at the end of the day, this is a young lady that wants to stand out on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's trying to guide her to be underneath another member of the family. Just saying. I mean, mentorship is one thing, but there's always that, and you know this, being a father yourself. When someone wants to go their own way and do their own thing, it's hard to stop them, let alone restrain them.
Let me throw this little tidbit in you as far as some long-term storytelling goes.
Go for it.
The rumors are beginning to swirl again about Rock Roman at Mania 40, right? Especially
Yes.
ever since Rock appeared on SmackDown.
Yes.
You think back to WrestleMania 13, and granted, we haven't got there in our call yet.
Right.
Rock versus the Sultan, Rikishi in a mask. When the Sultan and his manager started to get the upper hand on The Rock, do you remember who came out to the ring? It was one Soul Man Rocky Johnson, his father, who came and helped him fend off Rikishi, get the victory, and they stood tall in the ring afterwards celebrating. So, Rock and Roman, Rock is starting to get beaten down by Roman. Here comes his daughter.
Oh, the hoodie running on the other Samoan.
And she
Damn.
turns on her dad in the ring, helping the tribal chief win.
Oh, God. You had me and then you did Control C, Control V in a way. Every time a new bloodline or a bloodline angle happens, it's the damn attack from a hoodie. I swear to on my freaking dead father, if that fucking shit happens at WrestleMania 40, I'm gonna break something and tirade that overrated champion worse than I've ever tiraded anything in my life in this wrestling industry.
As long as either before you do that or after you do that, you look to me on camera and say, "You were right, Renegade."
And I will hate you probably for life for it because it tells me they have nobody to take the Roman Reigns spot. They have no plans beyond Roman Reigns, and this will be a continued factor until the end of time as the freaking psychological warfare in space and time drives everybody mad.
Well, just remember, Noah, there's 2 nights of WrestleMania. Rock Roman doesn't need the title. And as of right now, there's still a Money in the Bank briefcase coming into play.
Ooh,
So even if Roman were to win, there's still another night. There's the fact that it could be a non-title match because he may have lost it by then. And there's always the chance of a briefcase cash-in because he could have squeaked it out, but barely squeaked it out.
all I'm gonna say, all I'm gonna say is this: Roman needs to fall. Believe that.
Of course. And to King Mike's comment about Ava being too green, I agree with you still at this point. But
that's fair.
Think about Dominic Mysterio. He went straight to the main roster and was thrown into storylines. Was he thrown into the biggest storyline in WWE? No.
No.
But when you're surrounded by greatness, you end up getting elevated. Look at how Dominic Mysterio has grown since that.
He still should not be North American champion.
Yes, he should.
No, he shouldn't, damn it! Trick Williams deserved that!
He isn't intercontinental. He's not United States.
He might as well
He
be
is
United
the
States.
mid-card champion of the developmental brand.
God bless it.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Except that Trick Williams got screwed. Bottom line, I still say Trick Williams got screwed. He deserved a run at
Where
the
was his
title.
buddy Mello to help him after all the times the Trick helped Mello?
You know that Carmelo and Trick are out to prove a point to themselves. He knows Kim is him, but freaking Trick Williams wants to be up there with him so they can be them, and your Trick Mello game went from 150 to 0 in the span of 2 days. Damn it!
I like Mello, but it seemed like he was kind of selfish there. I'm just saying.
Hey, if you're not selfish, how do you stay on top in this industry? I'm just saying. Then again, talk about selfishness. We talk about one of the people with the most genuine spirits, it seems, in WWE, John Cena. At the end of the day, it was not John Cena that really took the shine. He gave the shine, the rub, to L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. This was definitely the right outcome. And at the end of the day, I just want Jimmy Uso to get guzzled, or should I say Samoan spiked into exile. Because not only did he screw up the last true candidate to beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and I got to see that train wreck live, he now believes that he still is actually part of the bloodline. In the immortal words of the late, great Mean Gene Okerlund, give me a break. But I guess we'll see soon enough what happens on SmackDown if Crown Jewel will have any merit to my thoughts. And again, if it will be more than a glorified spectacle. Because at the end of the day, the next biggest stop, in my opinion, is Survivor Series. You talk about war games, that best make war games freaking matter and not just put a bunch of hodgepodge Lego pieces inside a cage. Because at the point right now, the only team, the only full team in WWE, if you want to call it that, is the Judgment Day. And they're starting to unravel.
Agree. But now, Noah, let's discuss the main event, the only match that was one-on-one.
Put that in perspective. Yes, indeed. It was once again the maniacal Monday Night Messiah, the visionary, the revolutionary, the beaten, battered, possibly nearly crippled WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, once again defending the gold against the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura, in last man standing match. And boy, did Shinsuke Nakamura did everything he could to try and make sure that ref stayed down for a 10 count and still failed. Again, they used the tables, the stairs, there was strikes to the back, there was falcon arrows, there was ridiculous avalanche German suplexes. And at the end of the day, a falcon arrow from a platform in the audience did the freaking deal through two damn tables as Seth was able to just find his way to his feet using the wreckage. But you might as well call this the Demolition Derby, despite the fact they were in the home of the freaking home of the Indianapolis 500. And you're lucky to see a car crash among those 500 left turns. But there was a lot of left turns in this match, to say the least. But I will say this again. Shinsuke looked very strong, but Shinsuke fell short. Is Shinsuke ever going to be a world champion in WWE? Was this his last next best shot? I mean, again, the same exact scenario in storytelling. Ended a trilogy with a rival in last man standing for the title that he instigated his opponent in going to do. And he failed. He failed against AJ Styles. He now failed against Seth freaking Rollins. Yes, he got the main event spot, his second ever premium live event main event, if that actually matters, but he failed. And I gotta ask the question again. How much further can Seth's back hold him up, and can he keep going with this championship? And a little bit before JJ talks about this, some subtle points before the match. You guys, I'm sure everybody like me, many people like me, damn it, we're waiting for Senor Money in the Bank to execute Final Judgment. At the, I would say, actual smart, suggestive awareness of intervention by Rhea Ripley, there's something I wouldn't say in a sentence. She restrained a hobbling Damian Priest from cashing in his briefcase. No cashing was even attempted. So, again, is Damian Priest the guy to bring Seth south of heaven, down to hell, and take the championship from him? Are we prolonging the inevitable? But how much more can Seth freaking Rollins' back hold up also during this run with this championship? He's held this thing now since the end of May. And he just overcame Shinsuke Nakamura in Last Man Standing. And you don't recover easily from a war like that. And that's what this was. This was a damn hard fought war of attrition for both men, demonstrating their Bushido. Great main event match, and Seth freaking Rollins still holds his spot at the top of the Monday Night Raw roster as the World Heavyweight Champion. The AJ thoughts of this match and the Damian Priest factor not even coming into play at all, and being known not to come into play before this match even began.
Well, I gotta say, I thought the Damian Priest thing backstage was going to end up being a red herring. You know, I thought that they were trying to convince everybody that there was going to be no cash in, and then he was going to cash in anyways. At the end of the day, I'm starting to think we're all just being worked about Seth's back. Because if his back is as bad as they have made it seem like it is on television, he should have lost this match.
Yes.
Shinsuke has gone full-blown, for lack of a better term, Yakuza. You know, mentality, attitude. There's no reason that he should have lost this. Especially after proving on Raw that he could keep him down for 10 seconds.
Yeah, with just a steel chair, and he used that and everything but the kitchen sink and this, and failed.
Yeah. Again, whoever looks strong going into the show loses at the show.
Damn it.
But there's no reason Seth should have won this. And like I said, I'm starting to think we're being worked. That Seth's back isn't as bad as everyone wants us to think it is. So, I mean, it was a great match, but where does Shin go now? You know, who's he going to feud with? How is he going to get back to the title picture?
Any title picture at this point.
It's just it's a shame because I think Nakamura would be amazing as World Heavyweight, Universal, WWE, whatever championship they want to give him that's a world title. I think he would be outstanding.
Yeah.
And especially since in this Triple H era, they've been trying to go more global. You want to sell out the Tokyo Dome? Shinsuke Nakamura as your champion coming home.
There you go.
Challenging him? I don't know. Maybe do AJ again.
See if WWE can actually surpass Wrestle Kingdom 10, which they failed miserably at WrestleMania 34. That's a high bar to
But
set.
but they tried to stifle him in doing the WWE way. That was under Vince McMahon control.
True.
Triple H may just let them open up and be like, top what you did at Wrestle Kingdom 10. No limitations.
They're definitely more than capable. They're definitely more than capable than doing that if able to be the professional wrestlers that they were then. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Again, like you said, it is a new era, but apparently the old story remains the same as far as the WWE Heavyweight Championship. And again, this industry owes you nothing. Injuries is part of the nature of the beast. And Seth freaking Rollins, he's probably working injured every day for all we know, even if it's not to an extent of what's been said by Shinsuke or even what he has been saying himself. But there's no doubt that his body has been warped and wrecked, especially from this last man standing match.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, again, how much farther does your physical well-being go beyond your mentality? And which one shatters first? I don't know how much Seth has left. Again, he's held this title since May, about 5 months now. And he just conquered Shinsuke Nakamura in Last Man Standing after already overcoming the likes of Braun Breaker prior to this, and even Damian Priest and Finn Balor. He has nothing left to prove, and this title has definitely been raised since it's been reinstated to continue a legacy left by Big Gold. So someone else I think does deserve the mantle, but at this point now, I don't even know if it should be Damian Priest.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Seth is working injured. But how injured is he?
Exactly. He didn't wrestle on Monday night, I believe. He didn't wrestle on Monday night, I believe.
No, he did not. But to Bully Ray's point, when he came out, he didn't even sell like he had been hurt.
Oh, did he do the whole jovial Joker walking down the dancing down the stairs entrance?
No, I wouldn't go that far, but your back has been broken for 4 years. You just went through a last man standing match. There was no limp. There was no holding the back, no grabbing at the neck. Nothing to show that you had been phased by the brutality that was that match.
Last time Seth actually saw an injury to me post-match was when he faced Cody Rhodes inside Hell in a Cell and was being within an inch of his life.
Yeah. So I didn't notice it, but Bully Ray noticed it enough to call it out on his Busted Open Radio podcast. But yeah, I mean, if he's that bad off, why isn't he working the angle more? We should believe that he's on the verge of being destroyed. Think about Orange Cassidy in AEW.
Got to give the people what they want.
With every international championship match, you could see that Orange was beaten and battered.
Yeah.
You slowly started to see the kinesio tape become more and more on his body. You would see him walk a little bit slower. You know, not that he didn't already have kind of a calm, cool strut, but you'd see him walk a little bit slower each week. Like his health bar is slowly getting drained until he finally lost the title.
He was running out of juice.
if Seth's back is really broken and has been for 4 years, coming out of that match, there should have been something, some kind of visible tell.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was a limp, whether it was walking a little bit slower, whether it was grabbing his back or his neck or something. You wouldn't have seen kinesio tape or bandages or anything like that because he wasn't dressed to wrestle. He was fully dressed. But
Yeah.
there should have been something to really put over how bad he was beaten in the process to make Damian Priest or whoever his next adversary is going to be, which looks like it's going to be Drew McIntyre,
Yeah.
feel like they've got the best shot now. So that if Seth is able to defeat them again, now what?
Hmm.
Just my
Ah.
2 cents there.
No, again, I agree 100%. There's a reason why I talked about Orange Cassidy being the most effective fighting dominant champion, one of the most fighting effective dominant champions on a weekly showcase in the freaking wrestling industry for the better part of a year. And he did not need to lose to John Moxley. The fact they are resetting this title with him, it just tells me that, again, audible versus audible, it should never happen in the process. And now I'm wondering, okay, so what can I expect from Orange Cassidy this time? How much farther is he willing to go? And who should actually take it off him? When will the time be right? Do you usher in a new revolution with the AEW International Championship? That's a whole conversation for another day and another year. Stay tuned for more on that. But yeah, it just baffles me, especially with how much we were really getting into this match. Seth was being literally obliterated at times by Shinsuke Nakamura. Even Michael Cole at times, where I barely could hear him. He wasn't even talking about Seth. Let of God, man. Concern yourself for another day. Think about your long-term well-being. Think about your family. Just stay down. You'll get another shot at the title. I was like, for the love of God, stay down, man. You were going further than needed. But again, the testament of proving why you are the champion is that catch-22 effect. And Shinsuke, his best was not enough, even under the most extreme, literally the most extreme circumstances. Like you said, the only thing he was missing was exploding barbed wire or a katana. My God. But yeah, and again, Damian Priest is still in possession of the Money in the Bank briefcase. But at this point, are people even thinking about that versus Seth anymore? Are people even thinking about Damian Priest cashing in for the title anymore? And again, Drew McIntyre, okay, he's heel. Why should I believe Drew McIntyre should be the one to take the title off Seth freaking Rollins? What have you given me to make me believe that besides the fact that Drew is pissed that he's not at the top and will remind the people exactly why he was chosen in the first place? Which I guess is a whole campaign for maybe Drew McIntyre's heel turn. I don't freaking know. Braveheart alternative. Shades of Bizarro versus Superman, I guess. I don't freaking know. That being said, I'm just confused at this point. Again, it just feels like to me when it comes to the WWE main roster, they are spinning their wheels in a constant motion with no real forward momentum. It's just more of the same, and I'm kind of over it, especially when it comes to the fact that I thought this was going to be Shinsuke's moment. I think he deserved it, and I'm sure that Seth probably would have given it. But again, who made the call? Why is it what it is? It is what it is, I guess. And I would love to see WWE actually surprise me and deliver in the Tokyo Dome a professional wrestling event. But now with Shinsuke Nakamura not even being nowhere near the championship again, I imagine for quite a long period of time, that thought went way out the window. So at this point, I just wonder what the hell are they trying to do on Monday Night Raw in general? What are they doing with Monday Night Raw more so than with Roman Reigns' long-term storytelling speculation that he will fall at WrestleMania 40 to either The Rock or Cody? At least there's a big what if there that might be a reality. But even I'm still very, 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 very skeptical to that conclusion. Seth Rollins, I don't know if there is right now a real conclusion that's worthy of him driving the title to survive in last man standing and not selling the back injury.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And as far as Priest goes, We've seen just about everything as far as Money in the Bank goes.
Yes, we have.
There's only two things I can think of that we haven't seen. Number one would be it's good for a year. So have him cash it in at the next Money in the Bank show.
Never happened.
And have whoever wins the briefcase cash it in and take it off him.
Right.
Or if he cashes in and fails, here comes the other briefcase holder to succeed where Priest failed.
Oh gosh, 2 cash-ins in one freaking night. All right.
The other thing that I can think of is Priest's contract expires without him cashing it in.
Damn.
Think about it. He's come out, looked like he was going to, not really gotten his briefcase turned in, so it wasn't considered a cash in. He's been told by mommy not to do it at Fastlane. On Raw this week, he came out to cash in, and Drew McIntyre put his arm out and stopped him because Drew wants Seth at 100% for his match coming up.
Seth apparently is 100%.
So
there
he
you go.
so Drew was stopping a cash in. So what if this is a trend that continues, where people are preventing Priest from cashing in, and the contract expires?
He would be the biggest dark note in Money in the Bank history. I don't know if he wants to be that first, but still, it would be a first in WWE, and it definitely would be a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen the cash of the century at WrestleMania, courtesy of Seth freaking Rollins at WrestleMania 31. We've seen cash-ins the same night, if not literally the following freaking match.
We've seen cash-ins for mid-card titles.
Don't get me started on that bullshit. All right.
Trust me, it's a dark day for me too, Noah, but I'm just saying it's something different that we've seen as far as a cash-in with the briefcase.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm illustrating a point.
I got you.
I don't agree with what happened.
Okay, as long as we're on page with that. Wow.
I'm just illustrating a point.
That's good. Yeah, no. I get
those
you.
are the only things I can think of that haven't happened that would be interesting to see and would put a little bit of spark back into the briefcase. I mean, could you imagine going into July of next year for the Money in the Bank show and Priest still has the briefcase?
That'd be absolutely insane.
The whole narrative of the show is it's been 1 year since Damian Priest won the Money in the Bank briefcase and he hasn't cashed it in yet. This is his final destination. This is the last chance he can. You have to assume he's going to do it.
Well, yeah.
And then he tries and succeed or fail. Whoever wins the briefcase that night cashes in. And then if Priest has just won it, you've just immediately started a program between the Money in the Bank winner for that year and Priest. Because Priest finally got his hands on the belt and lost it right away. If Priest isn't successful, Priest is pissed because he waited a year to do this.
And people are questioning his logic.
It writes itself, bro.
All I'm going to say is this. If the 2024 Money in the Bank has 2 men's Money in the Bank winners that same night, and they both attempt and fail, retire the Money in the Bank concept. Period. Because you can't get a bigger, this means jack diddly nothing anymore than 2 failed cash-ins the same night. 1 a year in waiting. and won the same night just because you picked the most vulnerable time.
Yep.
R.I.P. Money in the Bank. Well, that being said, also R.I.P. to Shinsuke Nakamura's chances prior at being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion or a WWE Champion of any sort at this point. I think that ship has set sail, and I think we will take a canoe and set sail down the river on this simple tip. But before we do, again, JJ, it was a unique show. It was brief, it was simple, it felt almost like a takeover, despite the fact, like you said, it was 90-minute filler, 90-minute content, almost like half and half. For those that like half and half in your coffee, good on you. But we saw 5 matches. We saw the presence of a bitch. We saw championships change hands. We saw Seth remain the last man standing. We saw the clean pin. And we saw the arrival of something cool. Maybe to stick around for the long haul, too. But that being said, what is your final takeaway of WWE Fastlane?
Like I said at the outset, I thought it was a great show. I thought that it hit all the points that it needed to hit. I think it proved that less is more in some in some instances and circumstances. Again, in comparison to their biggest competition.
Right.
And don't take this as me running down AEW. Trust me, there'll be enough of that coming tomorrow. But in relationship, AEW does a 14 match card.
Yes.
3 or 4 on the pre-show, the buy-in, the 0 hour, and then 10 or so on the main card.
Yes.
There was no pre-show match. There were 5 matches.
Yes.
Show still flowed. Every match was entertaining. Every match hit the way it was supposed to hit. There was no real dead time. And the quote unquote dead time that I know you'll dispute, the superstar packages and whatnot, I look at as just room to breathe. Because again, we don't need to overstuff everything. We don't need to turn into Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
What about a Pizza Hut mega box that offers you wings, breads, and pizza sticks?
That's fine if you're sharing. But we don't need to turn into a balloon being overstuffed with match after match after match. Sometimes it's good to have those few minutes in between to breathe, to process, to digest what you just saw in the ring without jumping right back into the next match. And it being 90 miles an hour, 25 false finishes, 332 super kicks.
That's not every match. Okay, I see what match you're referring to now.
I'm just saying. You know? And then you go to the next match, and it's freaking Canadian destroyers where the opponents land on their feet and hit the opposition with Canadian destroyers, and they trade them back and forth. And there's 17 false finishes. And then you move to the next match.
Right.
You know, you get my point. I'm being funny. I'm going for the haha. I'm being extreme in my numbers. But there's also a little bit of a point there to be made because you know that I'm accurate to a degree.
That's why I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening.
So some, like I said, sometimes less is more. And I think WWE, beyond anything, proved that with Fastlane.
Well said. Again,
That's not to say I'm not looking forward to Full Gear or Bound for Glory or any of those other things. You know, Bound for Glory's got 8 matches, not counting what may be on their pre-show.
Well,
Full Gear will probably have 25 matches.
Oh God,
I joke, but let's be real. It'll probably have close to 15 matches.
Give or take. I'm gonna softball it here and say 12.
Okay. 12.
So, yeah, let's go with that.
Bound for Glory's 8 and WWE's 5 is 13. Just saying, 2 companies combined about the same amount of matches as one AEW pay-per-view.
Fair. And I think it's also a fair take in your final take as well regarding what we saw transpire at WWE Fastlane. Again, the name aside, it being weird that it's in fall, and last time I checked, I don't think the Indianapolis 500 has ever taken place in the fall. It was a fun show. I enjoyed calling it. I enjoyed engaging with it. I'm still what the fuck when it comes to the WWE Tag Team Championships. Carlito was cool, but you need to get back his original music or something to that essence. Def Rebel, show a little bit more creativity, not generic AI built better nonsense, I bet. You had Charlotte Flair pin, which does lead me to believe that they are trying to do different things with the women's division. And again, I still don't know who should be the one to dethrone Seth freaking Rollins. But overall, WWE Fastlane, I'm all about quantity versus quality. It was balanced, it was adequate, and it was a fun show. And that being said, King Mike's like 14 matches. That's crazy. And everybody on the pre-show didn't care. Now, is he talking about just pay-per-views, or are you talking about the panels on these WPLEs, or both things? Because at the end of the day, a 0 hour is what you make of it. So, I want action, not pointless chat that I could just read a blog about or watch a video on less than 2 minutes, especially from a bunch of nobodies and a nice person like Kayla Braxton. But that being said, overall, I enjoyed Fastlane. I thought it was a fun show. Weird name, but still, it was very light. It was one of the lightest PLEs, I think, WWE this entire year. That was not one of your NXTs, which also surprises me. And again, I also do wonder, did that come down to just the timing of everything and the fact that, again, this is the most filler PLE next to Payback. And Payback, I think, had one more match versus this. And that might as well have been a Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, this was a nice show, and I enjoyed it, but it's nice to finally pull away from the fast lane and kick things into cruise control as we once again get back on the road towards the next thing in wrestling. And of course, we are on Interstate I-75 as we get closer towards exit BFG. That will be coming up on 2-1 as we are marching towards Bound for Glory. But I think for now, we'll bid you all a fine adieu. And thank you for tuning in to this simple take on WWE Fastlane. We'd love to get your thoughts, your takeaways. Go ahead and put your vote in my simple assessment on the community tab of my YouTube channel. And stay tuned for more on this on all the biggest shows in AEW and WWE. Maybe we'll do Ring of Honor. It depends on the timing. But again, JJ, always a pleasure. I know there's still a lot of work ahead for both of us, but let's just relax tonight. I know we got a fun weekend ahead too, especially me. But that being said, anything you want to promote, and where we'll find you besides here.
Like the graphic shows, you can find me on the socials, the Renegade JJ Williams on Instagram. On the Twix, it's ROWJJ Williams. YouTube, it's Casa D18 Studios. I want to thank everybody that's watching the Casa D18 Studios broadcast of this right now as we speak. Greatly appreciate it. Next week, I'm going to be starting a new venture on the Casa D18 Studios channel. You can go back and watch my State of the Casa D18 Studios address that aired earlier today for more information about that. And then, of course, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for open mic night, the Saturday night shenanigans. Got a lot of stuff in store for that.
Looking forward to it as always. Appreciate it, my friend. And we also appreciate all y'all watching across Casa Studios and the Cements brand. And thank you again for tuning in. If you want to know more about me, though, know this. Why? For I am but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. So follow me if you choose on the Twitter and on YouTube. And then Foster in 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire EW family on the Twix. Damn it, Jeff! And at YouTube and our social media platforms. Follow me on there if you wish for all the sort of updates and all 5 prediction leagues I'm hosting across all the biggest brands and all things wrestling, forums, leaderboards, a simple hello in your day, and live commentary takeaways. Follow the YouTube channel for more of the same, as well as simple assessments for all the biggest shows and all things wrestling, where you get to vote on a simple scale of 1 to 5 how you feel about the latest show that we just talked about either previously or tonight. Check out the latest. Check out, of course, the brainchild of my AEW family, our AEW review and impromptus. Of course, the AEW review has been going on since 2020. Another episode will be coming up here very soon. I believe we're doing one prior to full year. Follow my friend in wrestling on her wrestling journey, Amara Jade, as she once again continues to prove that Jade is worth more than gold. And she'll be in action this weekend if you're in the UK area, taking on Laura DiMatteo. And you can find that exclusively on Spinebuster TV as well. Good luck, my friend. Kick her ass. Stay tuned for the weekly conversation on all things All Elite Wrestling on AEW Spark, led by Zero, Owen Finch, and of course the other friends of FTW Productions. Follow the newest affiliate of the WWE WrestleMania at the Tillet. Gotta update the graphic. At Rangers of Wrestling. Power Rangers content, always Mighty Morphin, chat, great discussion all the time, and her weekly reviews when it's wrestling time on Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and Collision at times too. And again, as JJ alluded to, come join the fun, the shenanigans, the conversation that is open my night. It's going to be a doozy tomorrow, and you might get some turrets on wrestling as well in black and white. But you'll see clearly what we're talking about tomorrow night. And also, if you haven't already, become a member of the Castlane Studios today as we continue bringing you content, wrestling reviews, and matches, watch-along coverage too. And as JJ alluded to, the biggest project we are undergoing is our journey to WrestleMania 40 and the long and windy road. It's still very early underway as the next stop will be WrestleMania 3. There's this force based on the mobile object. So stay tuned for more on that. Stay tuned, of course, also for City Predicting, as again, Bound for Glory is our next stop. That will be next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live across the Cast 80 Studios and the Simpleman's brand. So be a part of the conversation and make your impact today in the Impact League if you haven't yet. And, of course, they'll also be part of the Jet Generic Live Watch events. This is not fully up to date, but this is just some of the stuff that is ahead. And that's not even everything, as October has Bound for Glory, both nights of NXT Halloween Havoc. Yep, you heard that right. We are calling NXT Halloween Havoc on the 24th and Halloween, October 31st. Trick or treat. And more shows are to be added. And that's just some of the stuff coming up in conjunction with the Superman's brand, the Castlane Studios, and the WWE Multiverse of Mia too. But as always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans. And Tuesday demonstrated that. With their opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other. I'm going to say that one more time. Respect each other. Protect your mentality too. Treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And thank you for remaining hashtag spoiler free on SmackDown, as he will engage in that West Coast time. I will engage in that highlight time because I don't have Fox. But again, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Support my friend. Give him a super chat. Give him a super sticker at Casting Studios. Super chat is as simple as that. Hit the bell of those vehicles live on demand on each of our channels. Hit the subscribe button. Help us keep growing our YouTube communities. I assure you our passion, our content, our creativity, and our takeaways are not letting up anytime soon. But I'm finally going to pull the brakes on this co-channel production of A Simple Take on WWE Fastlane. And thank you all one last time for tuning in. So until next time, when you will see JJ and me hoarse after my live experience at AEW Collision tomorrow night. Yes! Where I will see Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship and Samoa Joe versus Willie Mack for the Ring of Honor Television Championship, and more to be announced as Rampage is about to take over Friday night in about 30 minutes. I hope
You're
that
an
you
asshole,
all...
Noah.
I'm so damn happy.
And be on the lookout. We don't know a date or time yet, but Noah and I are going to do a watch-along call to tomorrow night's Collision, since he will have been there exclusively for the members only.
So there you go. So stay tuned for more fun content at the Casting Studios along with that. But until next time, make a positive impact in life. And as always, don't believe in superstition. Stay safe and have a good night. Thank you for tuning in to A Simple Take on WWE Fastlane. The campground is now closed. We will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, we forgot to close the window.